I am Homo sapiens. The era that began after the Cretaceous period is called the Cenozoic era. The Cenozoic era began approximately 66 million years ago, following the Cretaceous-Paleogene extinction event. This era is referred to as the Age of Mammals because mammals became the dominant terrestrial creatures during this time. The Cenozoic era is still ongoing and is divided into the Paleogene, Neogene, and Quaternary periods. The Paleogene period is further divided into three parts: the Paleocene, Eocene, and Oligocene, with the earliest being the Paleocene. The video will discuss the mammals that lived during this period. During the Paleocene Epoch, mammals rapidly increased in both diversity and numbers, laying the foundation for modern mammals in the subsequent periods. Before this event, mammals were small and mostly nocturnal, a fact discussed in previous videos on the Triassic and Jurassic periods. These ancient mammals, through processes of evolutionary selection and adaptation, established themselves in new ecosystems, leading to the age of mammals on Earth and the era we live in today. The various mammals of today began evolving in different forms and sizes during the Paleocene epoch, some of which were quite ancient. Mammaliaforms. This is the earliest group of mammals, which includes all mammals and some of their ancient ancestors, such as multituberculates and modern mammals or mammalia. The shared ancestor of multituberculates and mammals was a mammaliaform. Early creatures like Morganocodon, which lived during the Jurassic period, are considered a shared ancestor. These mammaliaforms were small, shrew-like mammals with a much slower metabolism compared to modern mammals. Multituberculates were among the most successful mammal groups during the Paleocene. They evolved around 160 million years ago and were small, rodent-like mammals, primarily herbivorous or omnivorous. They had the ability to climb trees and dig underground burrows. This group existed for nearly 100 million years before becoming extinct. Mammalia can be divided into three groups. 1. Monotremes, which are the most ancient egg-laying mammals and the first to evolve. Obdurodon is an example that existed during this time. Modern-day platypuses and echidnas belong to this group. 2. Theria, which developed into two major branches. Metatheria, which includes marsupials, considered the ancestors of modern animals like kangaroos and possums. Eutheria, which includes placental mammals that were already quite diverse during this period. Similesta was an early group of placental mammals that included insectivores and omnivores. For example, Pantolambda was a medium-sized herbivorous Similesta with a stout body and short legs. This group showed diversity during the Paleocene, with some adopting larger sizes and varied diets. Mesonychids were carnivorous mammals with hoof-like feet and teeth adapted for tearing and slicing meat. An example is Ancalagon, a prominent predator of that time, hunting small mammals, birds, and reptiles. Creodonta were ancient carnivorous mammals considered the first predators of the Paleocene epoch. Examples include Patriofelis and Hyenodonts. Their tooth structure indicates a carnivorous diet, and they eventually became ancestors of modern carnivorous mammals. Leptictids were small, insect-eating mammals with long legs adapted for running and jumping. Their lifestyle depended on speed and agility, which helped them climb trees and evade predators. Condylarths were a major group of primitive hoofed mammals, including both herbivores and omnivores. Phenacodus is a well-known condylarth, a medium-sized herbivore. Protungulatum is another significant condylarth, a placental mammal of the early Paleocene period. It is quite famous and is considered an ancestor of many modern mammals, as Protungulatum is regarded as an early ancestor of a major group of mammals, known as Loriciotheria. The superorder Loriciotheria consists of 6 major orders. The first order is Eulipotifla, which includes shrews, hedgehogs, moles, and related species. The second order is Chiroptera, which encompasses bats. The third order is Cetartiodactyla, which includes cows, pigs, and whales. The fourth order is Perissodactyla, which includes horses and rhinoceroses. The fifth order is Carnivora, which includes dogs, cats, bears, and pinnipeds. The sixth order is Pholidota, with the pangolin as a notable example. Protungulatum is considered the common ancestor of all these groups, indicating that these organisms share a common ancestry dating back to this period. During the Paleocene Epoch, early primates or proto-primates began to develop, belonging to a group called Plesiadapiforms. These organisms had some early features resembling primates. They were small, insectivorous creatures that predominantly lived in trees. As part of their evolutionary adaptation to arboreal life, these proto-primates developed specialized features like hands and feet adapted for gripping trees. Instead of claws, they had nails, which served as an important developmental indicator towards true primates. An example of this is Purgatorius, which is considered a representative of early primate-like organisms. Its teeth were adapted for a diet of fruit and insects, bringing it closer to certain primate characteristics. However, these Plesiadapiforms proto-primates were distinct from true primates or euprimates, which evolved later during the Eocene epoch. We will discuss the evolution of euprimates and their distinctive traits in the next video on mammals. But the next video will focus on other creatures of this period.